Perfection is a myth, but excellence is a discipline. Let's take a few minutes and let's talk about what excellence looks like as you uncover the purpose God has for your life. Hey, welcome to the Purpose Project podcast. I am so pumped that you have jumped on this thing. To all of our regular listeners, welcome back. And if this is your first time with us, we welcome you to the community. We're so glad that you are here. My name is Brandon Goff. I am the host of this amazing podcast and community of people. And honestly, here's our goal. We are taking a journey to uncover and walk out the purpose God has placed on the inside of us. We believe with everything inside of us that God has a significant and powerful purpose for everybody that's listening to this. And we just want this podcast to be a coaching tool, really, an inspirational tool to help us all uncover and walk in the purpose that God has for us. So if you'd like to help us at all with this podcast, I'd love for you to like, review, subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you listen on, and even share on social media. You can tag me, Pastor B Goff, on all social media channels. I'd love to reshare that. And even please share it with your friends, maybe with your staff, with other leaders to help us get the word out. Today, we're going to continue a series of talks that we started last week about qualities of high capacity leaders, right? And here's what we talked about. We talked about the idea that we're all leaders. We all lead in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's in the workplace. Maybe you're a CEO, or you run your own doctor's office or something like that. Maybe you're a manager or a leader at work, and you lead a team of individuals. Maybe you lead at home. Maybe you lead at home. Maybe you lead at church. Like I am a pastor in South Carolina at Radiate Church. I lead my staff. I lead our leaders. So I lead organizationally, but I lead at home as a father. I lead in marriage as a husband. We all lead in some way, shape, or form. And I've noticed over the years of life and leadership some qualities of high-level, high-capacity leaders. And I just want to break some of those down for you. Last week, we talked about the power of investing in others and leaving a legacy in others. Today, I want to take a little while and talk about how high-capacity leaders have a tendency to operate with an excellence that is noticeable, tangible, and powerful, right? Many times we can get this thing mixed up between perfection and excellence. And I want to dissect that and define that, if you will, today. But let me define it right off the bat. Excellence is not perfection. Man, perfection is a myth. If you have lived any amount of time at all, you should know by now perfection is not a myth. Now, here's the reality. We can know perfection is not a myth, and yet we still try to strive for it, right? Like if you're a creative designer, everything has to be absolutely perfect before that graphic goes out, right? Or if you're a writer, every word has to be absolutely in the right place before that paper goes out. Or if you're a leader, I have to have everything completely under control. Hear me today. Perfection is a myth. Perfection will drive you absolutely crazy. It'll make you just go nuts. Why? Because you're chasing something that's not even possible. What is possible is excellence. Perfection is an unattainable goal that leads to discouragement, frustration, and honestly, premature quitting. We quit too quickly and too often. That's another episode later in this series of talks. And you'll never accomplish it. But excellence is also not defined by perfection, but it's also not defined by comparison. While you most definitely can and should learn things from other people that are doing what you do and doing it incredibly well and doing it at a higher level and all that stuff, comparison is the trap that leads to the sickness of insecurity. I want to say that again. Comparison is the trap that leads to the sickness of insecurity. I believe with everything inside of me, I don't know where you stand on social media in your life, but social media is a huge thing, especially in recent generations, right? And the reality is what we're doing on social media is we're comparing our behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reels. And it's created this comparison that's like, well, I'll never be as good as them. I'll never get to the vacations they have. I'll never, whatever it is, right? And I just want to kill comparison in your life. Stop comparing yourself to everyone else. You have a race to run. You have a purpose in your life. They have a race to run. They have a purpose in their life. Let each of you run your own race. Don't compare. There's an old phrase that I learned in youth ministry back in the day, and it's this: compare and compete, and you'll always live in defeat. Let's just kill the comparison and let's chase excellence, because this is what excellence is. Excellence is doing the best you can with what you have. The best you can with what you have. You may not have the budget of the Fortune 500 company that you're comparing yourself to. So therefore, you're not going to reach their level. You're not going to be able to do some of the things that they can do. But you can do excellence with what you do have at your disposal, with what you do have the ability to do something with. Excellence is birthed from the understanding and the deep belief that what you're doing, what you're leading, deserves the best it can absolutely possibly be. That whatever you're investing your life in, whatever your purpose is, excellence comes from the belief that my purpose, my call, my job, my family, whatever it is, deserves the best. And I'm going to give that thing the best. Excellence is picking up the trash instead of waiting on someone else to do it. Excellence is keeping your workspace presentable and organized. Excellence is honoring your coworkers' time by being prepared and on time for the meetings. Excellence is even in how you dress and how you carry yourself on a day-to-day basis, right? It's going, hey, the life I live, the life I lead, the purpose that I'm chasing that God has put on the inside of me deserves the best I can give with what I have. Excellence is really an outward respect for the vision you're chasing and the purpose you're accomplishing. Excellent. I'm going to say that again. Excellence is really an outward respect for the vision you're chasing and the purpose you're accomplishing. High capacity leaders understand this. Operating with excellence creates a value on the product. So think about this. You go in, right? Let's talk about one of the greatest organizations that does this, in my opinion, okay? Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is one of the most successful fast food chains in the world. They do an amazing job. Chick-fil-A is one of the best at creating a culture of excellence in all of their stores and with their products. They create a value on their product. How do they do that? Well, when you walk into any Chick-fil-A, you see the same level of care. You see the same level of excellence in every single location. You may be in a different spot, but you know you're in a Chick-fil-A. You see the colors, you see the cleanliness, the kindness, the quality of the food and the product. You see all of those things. And when you say thank you, you're going to hear two words back: my pleasure. They're creating excellence. They're creating a discipline of excellence. The bathrooms are always clean. The dining area is always bustling, yet clean and incredibly orderly. The sauces are stacked up, not just thrown in a bin, right? The drive-through is long and there's tons of people waiting, but it's always organized and friendly and pretty fast for what they're pushing out. This is actually a large and massive reason for their success. They make sure excellence, not perfection. You know, I know it's not perfection. They've gotten my order wrong before. I've got a friend, he says it like this: Chick-fil-A is God's chicken. Therefore, if they get my order wrong, they're just giving me what I should have ordered in the first place. I think it's hilarious, but they're not chasing perfection. They're chasing what is our level of excellence and how do I accomplish that? It's a value that they've disciplined and trained their employees, their store managers and store owners to do, right? High capacity leaders focus on and execute with excellence on a disciplined and consistent and intentional basis. They're not trying to be perfect. They're not trying to never mess up. In fact, watch this. The more you try not to mess up, the more you're probably going to mess up. The more you're going to make mistakes. The heavier it's going to feel, the more weighty it's going to feel. So I want to give you, as I do each week, just a few thoughts today about excellence in your leadership at home, at work, at wherever you may lead. Here's a question for you. Where are you lowering the bar of excellence? Where have you just accepted this is not okay, and I'm just going to let it not be okay? I'm not going to fix it. I'm not going to retrain it. I'm not going to clean it up. I'm not going to create a new level. It's too much work. I'm just going to accept where it is right now. So I'm going to lower the bar. Now in work related terms, I'll be honest, there are seasons where you go, hey, we're just, like that's not our top priority. That area is not our top priority, but you can still do excellence because it's the best you can with what? With what you have. It's easy to let things slip because of a strain on time and honestly, convenience. It's easy to let things slip, to let the bar lower, to go, hey, you know what, excellence, I'm not going to focus on that in that area right now, whatever. But remember this, what you permit, you actually promote. So the more you lower the bar and you allow excellence not to become something that you care about, then you're devaluing the product that you're standing for. Take it with your family. The more you permit disrespect and dishonor to your spouse with your kids, the more you're promoting it. Hey, this is okay. This is all right. If you lead in a workspace or office space environment, the more you permit messiness and disorganization and maybe even rude communication back and forth, the more you're promoting, hey, this is okay. We're fine with that. You can do that here. What you permit, you promote. What are some areas in your life and in your leadership as you're uncovering and walking out the purpose God has for you? What are some areas in your life and leadership that could be better, where you could do better at executing and promoting excellence? So here's the thought. Where are you lowering the bar in excellence? Now, once you've answered that question, here's another question to answer. What does excellence look like in my context? What does excellence even look like in my context? If you run a business, it's up to you to decide what excellence looks like for your business. If you manage a team, what is excellence in your team? At your home, what is excellence at home? Excellence looks different in every single person's context due to the vision and, watch this, due to the person. My level of excellence is different than other people's level of excellence. My level of excellence is different than my friends. My level of excellence is higher or lower than other pastors that lead churches, right? It looks different. Why? I'm different. I have a certain way that I feel like I want things done and that we're called to do things, right? But I've got to decide that. I got to decide, what does excellence look like in my context? What does excellence look like for you? For me, it's organized workspaces. It's clean and welcoming atmospheres. It's good attitudes. It's good time management, just to name a few. I don't want people walking in with down faces and sad, reactions and attitude. I want people coming in happy and joyful, and let's have a fun atmosphere. Once you define excellence in your context, now you know more consistently what you're going after. So it's like, okay, I've let the bar drop here, but what does that even mean? How do I pick that bar back up and raise the bar of excellence again? Once you define that, you can say, this is what we're going for. And then once you've decided that, let me give you this phrase. Set the bar and then guard the bar. Set the bar, guard the bar. Set the bar of excellence with your team. Sit down with your team. Sit down with your family. Sit down with your employees and with your staff. Sit down even with yourself and go, this is the bar of excellence. We will not go under this bar. This is what we're going to do. This is the expectation of excellence, not perfection, because they're going to miss it. They're going to get it wrong, right? That's why guard the bar matters. We're going to set the bar. We're going to give them tangible and practical ways and examples of what it looks like. And we're going to give them inspiring whys of the why. Why it is important. Why does it matter? We're going to give them the why of the why. Why does all this matter? And once you set that bar, watch this. This is the hard part. Guard it. Accountability matters. That's part of the problem in a lot of leadership things is we love setting a bar, but we hate the accountability part. And you got to have the accountability. You got to have the conversations about overflowing trash cans and disorderly workspaces. You got to have the conversations about late email responses. And you got to have the conversations about bad attitudes and downward, not energetic reactions to people. Here's why. You have to inspect what you expect. Okay, so you got to have those conversations to guard the bar. So you ask yourself, hey, where am I lowering the bar of excellence in my life? What does excellence even look like in my context? And then it's this, I'll set that bar and I will guard that bar. I will hold the accountability conversations that need to be had so that we can walk out the purpose of God in our life with excellence. Excellence is a practical way that high capacity, high level leaders raise the value of their vision and themselves. Think of it like this. Excellence, the level of excellence you apply to your purpose is actually the value you think it has. So let me ask you this question to end it. Are you treating the purpose God put on the inside of you with the value that it deserves of excellence? The answer is no. Then we got some homework to do this week. It's a powerful way to show that you respect and honor what God's called you to do and gifted you to do. It's a practical way to help others learn professionalism and learn what it looks like and what it feels like. And don't just listen to this today and think, oh, this is just professional. No, this is personal. This is applicable at home. This is applicable everywhere that we go in our churches and our families, right? Cleaning rooms, doing laundry, keeping your word, letting your yes be yes, and letting your no be no. This week, I hope the preceding thoughts about excellence help you think through what does it look like in my context? How do I take it to another level, right? How do I set the bar and guard the bar and add more value, show more value and respect to what God's called me to be a part of? Now, next week, we're going to continue this series of talks, and we're going to talk about not letting the fire of your vision fade. If you're a leader at all, you've dealt with vision fading and losing its fire. I want to talk about that a little bit next week. But remember this, as you're working on excellence this week, remember, you matter to me, you matter to God. You have purpose, and you can change the world. So let's get after it. I'll see you next week.